Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. So today I have something really neat from my friends over at Banggood, and it's this. This is the Beta 85X HD quadcopter. Well, at least that's what's on the box, but that's not what I ordered. Let's go over to the bench. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So on the face of the box, we have what looks like a Beta 85X whoop, but that is not what I requested. What I requested was the Beta 85X V2. And, well, let's see what we got. Really liking BetaFPV products lately. Again, this was sent to me for review by my friends at Banggood. On the top here we have, oh, look at that. We have some props, some TPU parts, and it looks like we have a naked whoop, a naked GoPro case. So this is, I think, their V2 version. So this is all injection molded plastic. Very, very nice little case. A couple sets of props and a mount. Oh, come on. Looks like we've got a mount for the Insta360 Go, which is an incredible little camera. If you haven't seen the Insta360 Go, please check it out. There's a link in the video description. Take a look at the Insta360 Go. It is an incredible little FPV, super awesome stabilized camera. It's not a 360-degree camera. Some people say it's more like a 180 camera. You can take it, turn all which way, and the horizon stays locked. And that is built into the camera. No extra software needed to do that. But check that out. So we have the case. We also have a mount for the case for this little guy here. Very nice that they include that. I'm pretty sure I put that on. There you go. And that's a 15-degree mount. So that's pretty cool. An extra set of props. These definitely look like 85mm props. Very nice. A craptastic little screwdriver and an Allen wrench. I really hope we don't need those. We have, oh, the Beck. This is the voltage regulator for the naked GoPro. So if you want to make yourself a naked GoPro, all you'll need is a GoPro Hero 6 or 7. Definitely going to recommend you go with the Hero 6, as if you're going to do a naked GoPro, you're most likely going to be using RealSteady. If you don't know what RealSteady is, it's a standalone program that takes unstabilized GoPro footage and puts that super juicy, stabilized, locked horizon look to it. The GoPro Hero 6 is the camera to go to, as the 7, the gyro is too sensitive and requires a really elaborate mounting system for your camera to reduce the jello and the shakes and to make RealSteady Go work. The GoPro Hero 6, you can mount that sucker right to the frame and you won't have any issues. So the 6 is definitely more desirable, but you know, both of them have the pros and cons. I think the picture quality on the 7 might be just a little bit better, but anyways, you get the back to be able to do that, so this plugs right in. But one thing about the back I see here is there's no plug. It didn't come with the wire harness, the power ground, and the record switch. Oh, look at that! It is the Beta 85X V2. Huh? So they just didn't update their packaging, which that's okay. And then there's also a little manual QR code type thing in the box. So this is the Beta 85X V2. Now, it doesn't look like they updated their packaging on the box, which is fine. But Banggood does call this the flip chip version. I think that's because this is a pusher style quad and the flight controller is actually kind of inverted on it. It's a very interesting setup. It does come with that super squishy, clean, dirty section to run the GoPro Hero 7s, 8s directly on the frame to add that extra bit of vibration isolation. But I don't think this is going to carry a full-size GoPro. It's going to be far too heavy to actually fly decently. I'm sure it'll get off the ground and go, but it's going to be way too heavy for that. Just for comparison's sake, get the old trusty scale out here. And some people don't believe weights, so this is a 50-gram weight right there. Okay, so we've got our calibration. Here is a GoPro Hero 8 Black. I don't know why it's moving like that. That was weird. Must have been like an air cushion between the lens and the platter. 126 grams. Yeah, we'll say 127 just to be be on the fair side. So 127. Here is a GoPro Hero Session 5. 72 grams. Here's the Insta360 Go. 18.5 grams. We'll round up to 19. It'll be heavier once the battery's full, right? And here is a naked GoPro Hero 6 in the BetaFPV case. I think that also has an SD card in there, does it? Yep, already has an SD card in there. So 26 grams, and you're always going to need an ND filter. So we might as well include that in the weight. 27.5 grams. So that is one very light package to get incredible video quality. Between these two here, these are definitely going to be these two are definitely going to be your two main options for filming on this. So that's something you'll have to decide on which one you want to do. I'll do some flight footage comparing A/B between the two of these. That way you can get an idea what it's going to look like. Now, one of the downsides of doing the naked GoPro is you do have to connect it to your flight controller or to some sort of power supply with this cable that comes with it, and typically it would tie it to only one quad. I just took the cable, put a 4S balance plug on there, pulled out the 3 innermost pins, so I have now power and ground. I can plug this directly into a 4S LiPo, like so, and I'm good to go. So this does make it kind of a more portable rig, since the naked GoPro does not have any sort of battery built into it. If you want to see a video on how to do this, let me know. I'll make one up for you. So this version does come with Crossfire. The receiver is just crammed in there, way down inside of there, so I am not going to be able to get to that to bind it. And we do have this stray little plug hanging out here, and this is your connector for the naked GoPro. So you have power and ground, and this yellow wire is a trigger wire, which is assigned as a user function in Betaflight, so you can assign a button on your radio to start or stop recording. Really neat little feature. With the naked GoPro, you can still operate it manually just with the button presses on the top here, or through Wi-Fi through the GoPro app, which you kind of need to have to set those cameras up. So let's get the top off of this thing so I can bind her up. Again, XT30, and they do recommend these BetaFPV 450 milliamp 4S packs. These are not high volt, I don't believe, and I'm not going to charge them high volt, but looks like a pretty decent little pack. All right, let's get her open and get this thing bound up. All right, there we go, back together. Really not too difficult. I probably could have weaseled that receiver out through the side here if I really wanted to. Just make sure we tuck all these wires back in after we move everything around. There we go. So that's it. Let's get over into Betaflight and see if BetaFPV has actually done a decent job setting this up. Now, the USB port is kind of a pain to get to. It's way deep down the side of there. So when you're plugging in, you gotta make sure you don't pinch any wires. And you'll need a USB port or a USB plug that's a little on the skinny side. This big old honker is not gonna work out. All right, so we're in Betaflight. We always need to check to make sure our gyro's working correctly. Yep. And we are in Betaflight 4.11. The target is the Matek F411. So over to ports here, the receiver is on UART1 and the smart audio is on UART2. Pretty standard. Quad X, one shot, 125. What on earth is going on here? That can't possibly be right. But you know what? I'm going to try flying it the way it is. One shot, I haven't used one shot 125 in, God, 5 years. 2K, 4K accelerometer barometer. This thing doesn't have a barometer, so that can definitely go away. No craft name. CRSF. Telemetry, air mode, OSD, dynamic filters, fine. They didn't turn on motor beeper, which kind of sucks because there is no dedicated beeper on this thing. No, there's no beeper on it. So if you lose it, you're hooped. Not looking good here, guys. This looks pretty standard. Failsafe, pretty standard. PID tuning. Oh, this does have a custom tune on it. So profile 1 is a custom tune. Profile 2 and 3 are Betaflight stock. And rate profile 1, 2, okay, yeah, so the rate profiles are Betaflight stock. And the filters look like they have not been messed with. No, filters are bone stock. Okay, so definitely a PID tune on it, and that's about it. Let's go to the receiver.
Welcome to Tango 2.
So the receiver doesn't power off of the flight controller, so we'll have to add a bit of juice to it. It does come set TAER, which is what I need for my Tango 2. No RSSI channel, which is fine. That's part of the newer Betaflights. That gets piped in automatically. So that looks good. Modes. Here we go. Modes are set up with ARM on aux 1, which is good for me. Angle. Well, so I need to change this around a little bit. So user 1 here. This is the that orange wire or the yellow wire on that pigtail that came out to activate the GoPro. So I'm gonna have to change this around a little bit. No adjustments, no servos, motors. Let's see if this thing even works. Yup. OSD is pretty bare, which is fine. That works for me. Video transmitter. Let's see if they got this set up right. They do not have this set up right at all. I mean, it'll work, but it's not going to be done properly in the OSD. Sensors fine, tether logging fine. Black box, there is no black box, so that can actually be removed. I don't know if that'll save you any CPU cycles, but certainly could not hurt. All right, and as with any new quad, what we want to do is go over to the CLI, type, actually we're just going to go down here and type diff all. Come on, type. I'm going to copy to clipboard. We're going to create a document. We're going to create a new document. I'm just going to call this Beta85X V2 stock. We're going to dump that diff all in here. So we're going to put that in a text document for safekeeping, just in case we really mess things up, or if a buddy says, hey, I got this and I need the stock configuration, hey, we've got it right here. Or if, in my case, I call them up for having a piss poor configuration, I can say, nope, this is what was in there. So what's the deal, guys? But anyways, that is the first thing I do with every new quad or flight controller I get is do a diff all. It's a good starting point because these things aren't like cell phones. When you update the firmware, all the settings are gone. You got to start over. So remember that. Don't update all willy-nilly like. All right, so I'm going to go through and I'm going to configure this thing for my settings and give it a fly, see how it goes. There we go. Set up with the Insta360 Go. Get you guys all up weight of this thing. It does feel quite heavy in the hand right now. 127.6 grams. So not bad. Battery's full, so it's as heavy as it can be. But let's go fly it and see how the footage looks at it. Well, I'm getting a lot of jello in the camera, the FPV camera, but as long as it's not transmitting into the HD camera, I guess it really doesn't matter. Not too bad. Really would have liked this on DJI. Certainly see a lot more. It would probably fly pretty bad. Shut up, cat. 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 Low battery warning. That's all she got there, folks. I tried to take the same flight path as last time, but I'll be honest, I can't remember. The Insta360 Go is definitely a easier, more user-friendly setup. That's for darn sure. Messing with the GoPro app and Wi-Fi settings, all this other stuff, and just going off of a little blinking green light. It's kind of a pain in the butt. You just kind of have to hope that it's recording. Well, I guess the Insta360 is kind of the same way.
4, 3, 2, 1. Timer 1 elapsed.
Really no prop washout. I thought I did a really hard dive. That's not really what this is meant for. And it is loud. Jesus, loud. The naked GoPro is kind of cool, but it offers next to zero crash protection, so don't go out bando bashing with this thing. GoPro does stick up quite a bit more. Oh, let's go back to that again. A little bit of wind out here. I think those kind of scare me when I fly by myself. It's pretty darn loud. All right, so final thoughts. What do I think about the Beta 85X V2? Well, here we go. For starters, this is definitely going to be overkill for flying the Insta360 Go. But if you are wanting to go fly a naked GoPro, this is going to be the ideal platform for it. It's already connected. The yellow wire goes to the LED pin, so you can do the pin IO box thing and turn the camera on and off. Crossfire is already built in. Not a lot of downsides to it. It's just the right size. Maybe the 95 would fly just a little bit better, but then again, it's going to be bigger. The only real downside I see to this is the Betaflight configuration was not very good, but it still flew decent on that configuration. The VTX is possibly going to be a weak point. It's using a suspended 20 by 20 mounting board with the VTX soldered to it, so the only thing mechanically holding this in is just these little solder bridges. So this is one of those things that you're going to want to keep an eye on. Make sure they don't start to crack from vibrations, especially if you tend to crash this. This shouldn't be getting crashed. This should be a I know I got this and I'm not going to crash it type of craft. Definitely want to get yourself a spare frame if you do plan on using this long term. But this is a very nice flying platform for hauling a naked GoPro. And it does haul the Insta360 Go very well as well. I'm not discounting that. I just think that there's probably better platforms for that that can be even smaller. But this is going to do it just fine. All right, folks. So that's it. That's the Beta 85X V2. I want to thank my friends over at Banggood for sending this out for review. And I hope you guys like this. If you're enjoying this quad, or if you're interested in it, or anything else I talk about, or if you just want to help me out, go ahead and check out the link in the video description below, www.tweetfpv.com, where you can find everything about me and TweetFPV. And all my affiliate links are down there. If you want to passively help me out, go ahead and click those links. If you want to help me out in a more direct way, there are other options there like Patreon, where I tend to give away things of this nature every month. All right, folks, I will see you next time, and stay safe.